it lives next door. The most feared monster in the Philippines does not hide in the dark. It hides among you in daylight, behind a human face. By day, it is an ordinary neighbor, a quiet woman, a helpful midwife, the old man at the end of the road who keeps to himself. It eats what you eat. It prays where you pray. You have almost certainly, at some point in your life, smiled at one. But when the sun goes down, it slips that human face off like a wet coat, and it goes looking for the sick, the dying, and the unborn. They call it the Aswang, and the worst thing about it is not the teeth. It is that you cannot tell it apart from the people you love. This is the creature that wears a familiar face. Entry number 2. Let me begin with a warning that will save you some fear later. The Aswang is not one monster. It is a whole category of them. In the Philippines, the word Aswang is an umbrella, a single word stretched over vampires, ghouls, night witches, corpse eaters, and were beasts that walk on 4 legs. The folklorist who first mapped this tangle, Maximo Ramos, gave it a name, the Aswang Complex. Not a single legend, an entire ecosystem of dread grown over 400 years. And it has a heartland. In the Visayas, the islands at the country's waist, there is one province people still name in a lowered voice, Capiz. For generations, the Aswang capital of the Philippines. But wherever it is found, every kind of Aswang shares one thing, the double life. By daylight, the disguise is flawless. It works. It marries. It grows old or appears to. Its only tell is small eyes that hold a little too much red in the lamplight and a habit of keeping to itself. By night, that disguise comes off. Some grow long black fur and drop onto all 4s, becoming an enormous dog or a boar that no hunter has ever seen by daylight. Some unspool a tongue as thin as thread and as long as a rope. And then it hunts. Its favorite prey is the most defenseless there is, a pregnant woman asleep in her home. The Aswang climbs onto the roof, or folds itself beneath the raised bamboo floor, and lowers that thread of a tongue down through the smallest gap in the boards, to reach the child she is carrying. It takes the sick as well, the ones already fading. A death in a fevered house was often blamed not on the fever at all, but on the thing that had been drinking from the patient, quietly, for nights. And it takes the dead. This is the strangest turn in the whole legend. An Aswang will steal a fresh body from its own wake and leave behind a replacement, carved from the soft trunk of a banana tree, shaped and dressed to look exactly like the person who died. The family weeps over the effigy. It rots on schedule, the way a body should. And no one ever learns that their loved one was carried off into the dark to be eaten. So how do you know when one is near? You listen. The Aswang moves with a sound, a dry, patient clicking. Tick, 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 carried thin on the night air. And here is the cruelty of it. The sound lies to you. When the ticking is loud, the Aswang is far away. When it grows faint and soft and almost gone, that is when it is closest. And when you cannot hear it at all, it is directly above you. The old accounts tell of a traveler caught out after dark, far from any town, taken in by a kind old woman with a single lamp. She fed him, she smiled, and as he thanked her, he happened to look into her eyes and saw himself reflected there, small and upside down. That is the second tell. In the eyes of an Aswang, your reflection hangs inverted, feet toward the sky. He did not run. You cannot outrun it. He did what the old people always said to do. He reached into his pack and threw a fistful of salt across the doorway behind him, and he did not stop walking until the sun came up. Because the Aswang, for all its horror, keeps a short list of things it cannot abide: salt, garlic, ginger, and sharp spice, and the barbed tail of a stingray dried stiff into a whip, the one weapon said to cut a thing that cannot otherwise be cut. There is one more rule, and it is the darkest of them. An Aswang cannot simply die. Before it can rest, the legend says, it must pass its hunger on. It must breathe the curse into someone else, a child, an apprentice, a member of its own family, or die slowly, in agony, unable to let go. Which means the monster is always, quietly, choosing an heir. So why would an entire people believe in this? Because it gave an answer where there was none. Think back to what it hunts. The unborn child, taken through the floor before its first breath, that is a stillbirth, in a world with no other word for it. The mother who never rose from the birthing mat. The strong young man drained in the dark, wasting away for no reason a village could name. Every death that grief could not explain, the Aswang could. And it explains something uglier. The Aswang was so often the woman who lived alone, the midwife, the healer, the stranger who married into the town. Fear needed a face, and again, it chose the neighbor. A monster shaped like suspicion. The bestiary records one certainty about it: not iron, not fire. Salt and silence. Carry salt, and you can hold it at the threshold. But listen for the ticking and pray that it stays loud. Because on the night it finally goes quiet, it has already chosen the house. Entry number 2. The Aswang. The shapeshifter. Region: the Visayas, Philippines. Class: shapeshifter, Visarasucker. Preys on: the sick, the pregnant, and the newly dead. Danger: 3 out of 5, malefic. Weakness: salt, garlic, and the tail of a stingray. The rule: when the ticking goes quiet, it is already above you. The entry is recorded. The bestiary closes. But it does not stay closed for long.